Thanks, Senator Blackburn. Senator Welch.
Thank you very much. I just want to start by acknowledging my gratitude to my colleagues on this committee for the work that you have been doing on a bipartisan basis. Senator Blackburn and I began working together when we were both in the House together and introduced, I think, the first privacy bill. So I haven't been with you in this effort, but I was with Senator Blackburn. And I can't elaborate on the excellent opening statements, Senator Blumenthal and Senator Hawley, that you made. And I guess in our phrase, I'd like to associate myself with your remarks. But I do want to, on my own behalf, express my shock at what's happening to our kids and how it's all because there's a lot of money to be made. And your questions, Senator Blackburn, revealing just the disregard for the mental health of our kids is truly shocking. So I'm all in with you on your efforts here. I'm also delighted that in Vermont, our Attorney General has joined the lawsuit. And also I want to thank you for your stepping forward and providing such clarity and also embedded in the concern that you have, not just for your daughter, but for all of our kids. A couple of issues that have come up from letters that I've received and comments, and I know you're getting the same questions as well, is from, and I want to make sure we can do this legislation that it doesn't do any harm. And I've been receiving a number of letters from folks in the LGBT community who are concerned that some of this legislation, including the COSA Act, would compromise their ability to get together online and be mutually supportive. And I support that. So I just want you to talk a little bit about how, if we proceed with the legislation, which I hope we do, we're not in any way going to interfere with the capacity of kids who legitimately are getting together, mutually supporting, none of the exploitive stuff. Can we accomplish that?
Thank you for the question. I cannot speak to the legislation. I think I trust that you are extraordinarily qualified for that part. I think that my job here is to help bring light to the harms that these teens are experiencing, and the fact that the way the company talks about them, in my experience, is misleading.
Okay, and that's based on all your years, really, at the forefront of Facebook.
Correct, and then the other thing I really would want you to know, and for any kid that, again, ends up having these awful experiences, it does not need to be this way, right? Instagram is standing right next to them as these things are happening, and they should be able, and I know because I built these kinds of things for 6 years, they should be able to turn and say, can you please help me with this?
Right.
And then get help with whatever's happening for them. And today, that is not the case.
So it's the exploitative content that in algorithms that you're focusing on, and I think all of us are.
Thank you. No, it's actually, it's when somebody says in front, you take in a school, and you're in the hallway, and somebody comes to you and says, I'm going to make sure that you don't get invited to any party ever again, right? The only people around you hear that. And if that happens online, that is a post that implies a person, doesn't name them,
right,
will never get removed, is incredibly distressing to the teen. And the kind of stuff I am talking about, because I deeply care about every child we can talk about in every context, is that that child who gets left out, insulted because of the reasons that Chairman Blumenthal outlined, that child should be able to get help independent of what the content is. And I believe that's important for all children, no matter what their gender or...
Right. No, I share that. By the way, another question that's come up is about encryption, and there's real privacy benefits to maintaining encryption, so I would hope that any legislation that we have wouldn't compromise the privacy rights of individuals who are on the internet.
I deeply believe in privacy and in everything that I'm talking about, right? If a child gets a direct message, right, that makes them uncomfortable, hurts them, it doesn't matter what the content is. It ought to be my house, my rules.
Right.
It only matters that that child feels uncomfortable and is able to say, which is what I asked Adam, can we please add a button when a child receives this message that says, like, please help me. What's going on? Somebody's being, like, really
Right.
mean to me, and it doesn't matter what the content is. That child deserves help. And if somebody's initiating those messages, sending those, going into those kids' houses and telling them these things, then step number one,
Yeah.
they should know that's not appropriate. And if they keep doing it, then other things can be brought to bear.
Thank you. So kids first.
Absolutely.
Thank you. I yield back.